Brian Flores is suing the NFL. He filed a lawsuit on Monday saying that, the NFL doesn't treat everyone fairly, doesn't practice fair hiring processes, and it was a bombshell. It caught everyone by attention. Tom Brady had just announced his retirement. Everyone was talking about Tom Brady. Everyone was talking about, like, damn, that's it. Like, Adam Schefter was right. He was retiring. People were talking about, he didn't mention the Patriots. There was a lot of commotion going on with Tom Brady, and then Brian Flores and his lawyers dropped this bombshell, and it was just like, wow, that's insane. Like, this is really happening. And we all I don't think no one was shocked. No one was shocked by the accusations. Like, we could pretty much see it. It's in broad daylight, like how many white head coaches there is. The fact that there's like 75-80% black players, but there's only one black coach currently hired in the NFL. That's not by chance. That's not just a coincidence. That doesn't just happen out of nothing. That's definitely premeditated. That's definitely, white owners wanting to hire people that look like them, people that, think like them, people that they believe, share the same values as them. There's some prejudice definitely going there. But for Brian Flores to actually, take the initiative to get lawyers, file a lawsuit, risk his career, I think that's what caught everyone by surprise. It was like, it's basically like David versus Goliath. The NFL being like a multi-billion-dollar company with the best lawyers, best defense, best attorneys, best everything. It seems like an impossible task to go up against the NFL. Just one coach. Hopefully more coaches help on. There's been some coaches that have already talked. I don't know if they've helped the case or made it worse. But Brian Flores, he risked his career. He even acknowledged himself when he let out a statement. He basically said that he knows that by doing this, he's probably risking his career that he loves and he's worked his whole life for. But something needs to be done, or else nothing's gonna change. And he's right, man. He's right. Like, we've seen it time and time again how white head coaches get numerous opportunities. They could stink it up. They could suck. And they'll get a second chance. They'll get another year. They'll get, multiple years to prove that they could turn it around. Whereas the black coach, the minority coach, they just, one season and you're done. We saw it with the Texans this year. I think most people were actually surprised that the Texans were that competitive, that they actually, didn't always look like just mediocrity on the football field. And their coach still got fired, man. Still got fired. Wasn't given a second opportunity. I think David Cooley, he waited his whole career, he waited his whole life for this opportunity. And I don't think, honestly, from my personal opinion, I don't think he put out like a terrible display on the field with everything that happened with Watson and all the commotion with the Texans. To be 4-13. People were raving about the Lions, how they fought for Campbell and how they had some close games. And I believe they finished like 2 wins and 1 tie and like 14 losses. David Culley did better with the Texans, and I would argue that the Texans had a worse situation. So, there's just discrepancies that we've all seen in the NFL. It's nothing new. I think what people and myself were shocked with was that someone like really just said, you know what, fuck it. I don't care if I get blackballed like Colin Kaepernick did. I don't care if, I barely got my first head coaching opportunity 3 years ago. I gotta expose. I gotta speak out. I gotta be the name that we'll remember. So hopefully for Brian Flores, it goes well. It goes good. But if I'm being honest, I just think it's going to be hard. Like I said, the NFL is a $1 billion company. I do think some change will happen out of this, but I just don't know if he's going to win the lawsuit. Nevertheless, it doesn't change the fact that he put this to the forefront and everyone's talking about it. And these hiring practices are going to be even more scrutinized as we go forward. The Rooney Rule, which is laughable, is going to, it might, do away with it. They might, enhance it. It might actually, force some teams to actually show some representation and hire some black head coaches. I don't know. Something has to change. I don't know if he's going to necessarily win the lawsuit. I fear that he is going to get blackballed and he's never going to have another head coaching job in the NFL. He might have to go to the college ranks and, duke it out right there. But respect, I tip my hat for Brian Flores, and I wish him well. And it's just crazy that, I had to come to this. Bill Belichick, I think this all started, or like the trigger, the thing that set it off was Bill Belichick texting him, thinking that he was Brian Daboll instead of Brian Flores, and congratulating him for getting the Giants job. And Flores, I think initially he kind of took it well. He was like, oh, thank you, Bill Belichick, for the good wishes or whatever. And then the more Bill Belichick texted, the more, Brian Flores was like, all right, this was not talking about me. I still haven't even had my interview with the Giants. Like, this was definitely mis-texting me. And he was like, hey, coach, do you think are you texting Brian Daboll or Brian Flores? This is Brian Flores. And he was like, oh, shit, I texted the wrong person. And, I think that's what set it off. I think that must have been humiliating for Brian Flores. It could have been, just a punch in the gut. So I hope it goes well for him. I hope it goes well. I don't think, like I said, and I keep harping, I don't think anyone was really surprised at the accusations. You could just look at the numbers. One black head coach out of 27, there's still some openings right now. That's why it's like 27, 28. But there's no way. 75% of the players are black and all the coaches are white. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. There's something there. Now, is Brian Flores going to have enough proof? Is he going to be able to prove that the Dolphins were trying to pay him to lose games? Are more coaches going to hop on this, put their name on the lawsuit? We'll see. It's going to get hot. It's going to get spicy. Honestly, this might steal the headlines all of these 2 Super Bowl weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. But it's just crazy. And, we got to stay on top of it. And I'll probably make another video if something else happens, if more breaking news or anything like that. But I tip my hat to Brian Flores.